make out this time?
We won about 20. Here's your half.
Good.
Sam Winfield, you're at it again. Give me that.
Morning, Miss Winfield. How you this morning, Emmy?
That's none of your business. No daughter of mine's going to have anything to do with a gambling man. From now on,
Now,
you just
wait a
keep
minute,
away.
Ma. You don't mean...
You keep out of this, Paul. You're just as bad as he is. The minute I let you out of my sight, you're trotting right into that saloon, gambling and carrying on. I declare I...
Someday I'm going to get awful angry with that woman. She's been picking on me ever since we got here.
Don't blame her too much, Mr. Winfield. This place is beginning to get on everybody's nerves. We've been here a long time.
Yeah, 7 weeks it's been. What's she expect a man to do? Sit around and knit? I already overhauled my wagon 6 times.
I sure wish that wagon master'd get here so we could start to California.
Yeah. The longer he stays away, the higher prices go around here.
You think Daddy will buy some of that meat? It sure looked good.
He's going to try, Robert, but...
I offered to work for it, but they don't need any clerks in Fort Osage. The only paperwork they do around here is to count the money they take from people like us. Maybe I ought to try and sell that winter coat of mine, Martha. I could probably
Oh, no, you won't. Remember how cold that man said it got between here and California?
Oh, he was only trying to sell us a couple of buffalo robes. Besides, the winters can't be any colder than they were in Boston.
How some women can afford to wear a different dress every day, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, Dad. Oh, could I see you?
Oh, yes, of course, in a minute, dear. But first, I'd like to present Mr. Olaf Christensen and Mr. Martin Christensen, recently of Denmark. Gentlemen, my daughter.
How you do, Miss Pickett?
Hello.
Our pleasure, Miss Pickett.
Thank you very much.
Well, gentlemen, are you going to sign the contracts or not? I'm a busy man.
We sign.
There's 100, 200, 300. All right.
We get more, Martin, in California. When we leave, Mr. Pickett?
Oh, in a day or two, boys. I'll let you know. Oh, in the meantime, you can unhitch your horses and turn them loose in the pasture. There's no charge for that.
Miss Pickett?
Bye. Dad, when are you sending the wagon train out?
Oh, pretty soon. As soon as there are a few more wagons ready to start, and as soon as my new wagon master gets here.
But some of these people have been here for weeks, Dad. They've spent all their money, and well, some of them can't even afford to buy food anymore.
I can't help it, Anne. You know I don't like to start the wagons unless there are at least 15 of them. The more there are, the safer it is going through the Osage territory.
Well, I think you should try to do something about the high prices here in town.
Well, I wish there was something I could do about it, Anne. But I don't have any control over the merchants. Naturally, I've spoken to them about it, but... Now, don't you worry yourself about it anymore, Anne. It won't last much longer. Was there anything else you wanted, dear? I'm pretty busy right now.
No, I guess not. Oh, who's the wagon master you're waiting for?
A fellow named Tom Clay. And he should be here by now. I can't imagine what's keeping him.
Morning, Miss Pickett. You looking mighty nice today.
Thank you, Mr. King. Well, I'll see you later, Dad.
Goodbye, Anne.
Did the Christensen boys sign up all right?
Paid in gold, too.
How about the shopkeepers? They coming through every week?
Like clockwork. You know, we got $100 in the butcher shop alone last weekend.
Ah, that's fine. You know, Pickett, this is the smartest deal we ever made, buying up that franchise from old Harwood. He wasn't making a dime out of it. Look at us.
Yeah. You know, we make a good team, George. If things keep up like this, we'll be able to retire in a couple of years. There's just one thing that I'm concerned about now. Tom Clay.
Well, why should we start the train out anyway, with wagons still coming into town? Well, just this morning on the road from Independence, I passed 6 of them, all jammed with passengers.
Really? You know, we're liable to clear better than 15,000 from this trip.
Sure we will. And we better, too. This will be the last train out until the winter's over. Now, don't worry about Clay. If he doesn't show up, I'll take the wagons out myself.
No, you don't know the Indian country well enough, George.
I don't, huh? Whose idea was it to stop the company's payments to the Osages for the right of transit, and who made it work?
Oh, that was months ago, and they still had plenty of supplies left over from the last treaty payment. Things might be a little different now.
Well, the last wagon train got through without any trouble, didn't it? 2/3 of the whole Osage Nation have migrated down into Oklahoma territory, with more of them leaving every day. There isn't enough of them left to start trouble, even if they wanted to.
Well, maybe we could send them one wagon of supplies. That might keep them quiet for a while.
No, not for long. You send them one, they'll want another. Pretty soon you'll wind up sending them the whole 15 wagon load.
Yeah, that'd cost between $5,000 and $6,000. That's a lot of money.
Traffic on this street.
There's certainly too much traffic for people to gallop their horses through it. I suggest you ride a little more carefully.
Thanks for the suggestion. You ought to stay closer to your mother, son.
Yes, sir. Only she's not my mother.
Not? Who is she?
I don't know.
You better stay off the street.
there anything I can do for you?
Where's Jake Harwood?
Mr. Harwood can be reached through general delivery in Sacramento.
I see. Now, you bought him out. You've also raised your rates to about double what he was getting.
Do you mind, Mr.
Clay, Tom Clay. No,
Clay? Well, I certainly am glad to see you. You know, I was almost afraid that we were going to have to start the next wagon train west without you.
I wouldn't send it west at all right now. Take a look at that.
Where'd you get this arrow?
Stuck in a burned wagon about 100 miles west of here.
McCullough's. I told him not to go across the Osage country alone.
I imagine you did tell him that, all right. There were 3 bodies around that wagon. Guess they didn't have enough money to pay their passage.
So you think our rates are too high, Clay?
Yeah, I do.
You, figure it's any of your business what we charge?
Not anymore, it isn't. I'm quitting.
Well, you can't do that. You've got a contract with this company to act as wagon master.
I had a contract with Jake Harwood, not with this company. Thanks anyway.
Oh, wait a minute. You're the only guide in this part of the country that knows the Osage territory. Now, look, Clay, our expenses have gone up. We've had to charge higher rates. You're going to get a raise, too. Now, I'm willing
I couldn't use it. There isn't enough money minted to pay for that. I've seen the Osages on the warpath.
All right, Clay. No hard feelings. But before you go, let me give you a little word of friendly advice.
Don't need any today. Thanks anyway.
You suppose he's right? I mean, what he said about the Osages being on the warpath.
No, that's impossible. There aren't enough of them. It was probably a small band of young bucks trying to make a name for themselves. Sure, they'll attack a single wagon, but they'd never attack an armed wagon train.
You know, I don't like it, George. Maybe there are more Indians in the territory than you think.
I'll look after the Indians. But, that Clay, he might give us a little trouble.
Do you think he'll say anything about the McCullough wagon? If he does, we might as well go out of business. Nobody will want to make the trip west.
He won't talk. I'll take care of that right now.
Well, what are you going to do?
Don't worry about it. You just stay here and take care of the cash. I'll look after Mr. Clay.
Whiskey?
Yeah.
Tom Clay, how are you? How was California?
You better shoot straighter this time than you did a little while ago.
What are you talking about? I've been right here all day.
How long has he been here, Johnny?
Maybe 5 minutes.
I never laid eyes on you till a few minutes ago. I figure that makes you a hired killer. Who hired you?
Look, mister, you got the wrong man. I don't know anything.
Who hired you? Who hired you? Anybody here didn't see what happened?
We all saw it, Tom. Tom, looks like you had an enemy.
Yeah. Wonder how I got him.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like to buy you a drink, if I may.
What for?
I'd like to talk with you. My name is Henry Travers. I'm from Washington.
Howdy. Tom Clay.
I know. 2 whiskeys. That was mighty fine shooting, Mr. Clay. Your health. I was just over at the transit company offices. I understand Mr. Pickett no longer is using your services.
That's right.
I also understand that you refused to lead his wagon train to California.
Look, mister, I appreciate the drink. I'll buy you one now and we'll call it square.
Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to pry into your affairs. It's just that I have an assignment and I have to get to Sacramento as quickly as possible.
Sorry. 2 more, Johnny. Mr. Travers, all I can tell you is the same thing I told Mr. Pickett. That wagon train will never get through, whether I lead it or anybody else does. It's suicide to try.
Oh, you mean with the winter coming on and everything?
No, the Indians. I found the last wagon that tried to get through 2 days ago. Every member in the party is dead.
You mean you told Pickett this?
Sure. He offered me more money to take the wagons out. Maybe he's not afraid of Indians. Well, I am, especially when they're on the warpath.
But why should they be? Hasn't Pickett's company got a treaty with the Osages giving them rights of transit through their territory in exchange for certain goods and supplies?
My name is Nathan Goodspeed, Mr. Clay. I'm one of the people who's been waiting for you for weeks. We've all been here just waiting. What are we going to do?
There are other ways to get to California. Try the southern route through Oklahoma territory. Down New Orleans, catch a boat.
But that'd take months. And none of us have any money left.
Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I figure your scalp is worth more than that California gold. There's something disturbing the Osages. Till it's straightened out, I wouldn't recommend anybody trying to pass through their country.
Come on.
Where you fellas going?
We go to get our money back from Mr. Pickett. Then we decide what to do next.
That's what I'm going to do, Martha. We'll go to Independence. I'll get a job.
Looks like we're not going to make it, Nathan.
Oh, thank you.
What are you going to do, Mr. Clay, now that you're unemployed?
I have plenty to do. I have an offer to help with a survey up in the Utah Territory. I'm going to take it. I'm through leading wagons.
Oh, but those people, the ones you just saw just now, they've given up everything to go west. They're trying to make new lives for themselves and their families.
What kind of a life is it for women and kids out there? I've seen them digging in the hills for gold, panning for it in the rivers, and starving.
As bad as that?
Sure it is. They're pouring in there by the hundreds every day. There's no system. There's no law at all. If you think Fort Osage is bad, you should see the gold fields. $1 a piece for eggs. Flour, $100 a sack. There's no use telling those immigrants anything once they get the gold fever.
California is a very young state, Mr. Clay. It's bound to be disorganized, but it won't be for long.
How do you figure?
The government won't let it. California is very important to the Union.
That's right. Sure in a mess right now.
Yes, we know that. But we're going to try to straighten it out as soon as possible. That's why I'm in such a hurry to get out there. My job is to make a full report on conditions out there to Congress and to the governor of California.
Oh, that's a big job. Wish you luck.
I'd like to get started as soon as possible. You won't reconsider about leading the wagons.
Sorry. Got a job.
How about it, Pickett? You gonna give us our money back, or do we have to take it?
Yeah, where's our money?
We can't afford to lose all of that money.
Here's your money, folks. Right here in my hand. It's yours, and you're welcome to it. There are just a couple of things I'd like to tell you, and then I'll pass it out.
We don't want any talk. Let's have the money.
Let him talk.
I'm sorry that you folks let a story about a couple of crazy runaway Indians change your mind about traveling with the company, but that is certainly your privilege. I didn't tell you about the McCullough wagon before because I didn't want to worry you unnecessarily. A small band of wild braves committed the outrage. Our friends, the Osages, are as upset about it as we are. Now, you know that the McCullough wagon set out alone, against our advice. Well, naturally, a single wagon traveling like that is a temptation to a stray band of Indian outlaws.
That makes sense, Martha.
Now, your wagon train, if it leaves, will be the last one before winter. I suppose you've heard that my wagon master has decided not to make the trip. Well, I've sent for another man who will be here any day now. To back up my personal guarantee of your safety, my armed guards will accompany you. Now, remember, you won't be traveling alone like the McCulloughs were. 15 or 20 wagons together is a little different from one lone wagon traveling without a guide. Those of you who want your money back, step up here.
You keep our money, Mr. Pickett. We go with you.
Thank you.
We're with you, too, Pickett. So are we.
Thank you, friends. You won't regret it.
Nice, Pickett. Very nice. Had him eating right out of your hand.
Now, well, somebody has to do a little thinking. You don't seem to be able to.
What do you mean?
Clay.
Well, what about him?
You said you were going to see to it that he didn't talk. You certainly did a fine job.
Well, things just didn't work out. He wouldn't listen to reason.
Now, you probably antagonized him like you have everybody else around here. Don't you realize that we need him?
Look, I told you I'd take the wagons out myself.
No, you won't. You...
Mr. Pickett, Mr. Keene.
Hello.
How are you, Mr. Travers?
I'm fine. It was a nice speech you made, Mr. Pickett. You convinced me.
Good. I'm glad you're going to be with us.
Who's this new wagon master you're going to get?
I don't know yet. I've sent to Independence for whoever's available. I still wish Clay would take the job.
I don't blame you. He's a good man. I'm just talking with him.
You were? Did he say...
Not yet, but I'm working on him. I think he's weakening. I had an idea, Mr. Pickett. I'll try to get him to go to the dance tonight. Perhaps if he sees the people that are going out west, he might change his mind about leading the wagons. They're a fine group.
Well, that's a good idea. I certainly appreciate it, Mr. Travers. I'll be there.
Fine.
Evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Johnny. something new for you, isn't it?
Oh, this has been going on every Saturday night for weeks. Gives folks a chance to forget the troubles. They got plenty of them.
They'll have plenty more, too.
Mr. Travers.
Mr. Pickett.
Mr. Clay.
Evening.
Well, I'm glad you came. I hope you don't have any hard feelings, Mr. Clay, about the words we had earlier today. I guess we were all a trifle upset.
Sorry I jumped you, Clay.
No harm done.
Oh, and, dear, I'd like to present Mr. Tom Clay, my daughter, sir.
Nice to meet you, Miss Pickett.
Thank you. Oh, Mr. Clay, Mr. Martin Christensen.
Mr. Clay. All right. I don't dance quite as fast as I gallop, Miss Pickett. Could I persuade you to try?
I beg pardon, but isn't this our dance, Miss Pickett?
Yes, Olive. Perhaps the next one, Mr. Clay?
Aye.
We buried Charlie Logan's brother this afternoon. Boys are mighty anxious to even the score with Clay.
Yeah, I know. So am I. It's no good in here.
Gotta leave sometime. When he does, we'll follow him.
You will not. I'll tell you when and where. Just keep your eye on him.
What's the matter with tonight? The boys are getting impatient.
Well, keep them in line. We're not taking any more chances.
All right. That's the way you want it? You're the boss.
You're right.
That's my baby brother, Olaf.
Your baby brother?
Yes. Back home, there are 9 more of us. 6 brothers and 3 sisters. Olaf and me, we are the littlest.
It's a good-sized family. Where's your home?
Denmark. Soon we bring them all to America. All farmers.
Farmers? You're going to California to dig gold, aren't you?
Gold? No. No, we are farmers, not miners. Tell me, we have heard there is much fertile land in California. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. Some beautiful spots. Greenest hills and valleys I ever saw. Millions of acres.
There are some left, maybe?
Sure. Nobody wants them. You can't dig gold out of them.
But who would want gold from farms? Farms are for wheat and for hay to feed the horses and the cows.
Hello, Martin.
Oh, Mr. Woodley.
Mr. Clay? This is my wife, Mrs. Woodley.
Good evening. Nice to know you, man.
How do you do?
My little boy told me what you did this afternoon, and, well, I want you to know how grateful I am.
No thanks needed. Glad I was able to stop in time. Nice-looking lad, man.
Thank you, Mr. Clay.
Oh, I'd be honored if you'd join me in a drink, sir.
I'd love to, but I think this is my dance coming up. Miss Pickett, is this our dance?
Oh, I believe it is, Mr. Clay.
Thank you, Miss Pickett.
You're welcome. You're a very good dancer, Mr. Clay.
Not really. Just inspired tonight.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Apologize.
Let's go outside for a while, Emmy.
We can't, Nathan. Ma and Pa sit right over there by the doorway.
What is that, an old Kentucky custom or something? Do you suppose they'd leave us alone if we were married?
Why, Nathan?
Shall we try the air outside?
Oh, yes, I'd love to. It is nicer out here.
Mind if I smoke?
Oh, no, of course not.
Well, go ahead.
What do you mean?
Figure the least I can do is listen since you've gone to all the trouble of preparing a speech.
Preparing a speech?
Oh, I know your father and that government man Travers want me to take the wagons to California. Figured Travers had something on his mind when he brought me here. I guess you're it.
Got it all figured out, haven't you?
I sure have. First you dance with me, then you come out here in the moonlight with me. I guess the next move is mine. I wouldn't do that again if I were you.
Oh, you're terribly brave, aren't you? You're afraid of a few savages, but you're not afraid to threaten me.
In the first place, Miss Pickett, Indians aren't savages. They're a lot more decent and civilized than a great many white people.
Is that so? Are you quite through now, Mr. Clay?
No, and you'll listen to the rest of it. Your father, who knows as little about the Osages as you do, has been telling people the McCullough wagon was attacked by a handful of crazy braves. He's wrong.
But why don't you tell him that?
I would if I thought it'd do any good. Listen, the McCullough wagon was attacked by a big band of Indians in a war party. And the same thing's apt to happen no matter how many wagons and armed guards go out. Now, do you still want me to take those wagons with women and children through the Osage territory?
Let me tell my father what you just said. I know he'll listen to me. And I'm sorry. I was trying to persuade you to leave the wagon train.
Afraid I can't apologize for kissing you. I'm not a bit sorry.
Who's doing the persuading now?
All right, Clay, you've got me convinced that the Osages are on the warpath. Now what do we do?
Well, he hasn't got me convinced. I say there aren't enough Indians left in the territory to give a fully armed wagon train any trouble.
Have you counted them?
Wait a minute, George. Mr. Clay knows the Indian country better than any of us. Maybe with your help, we could get a squad of cavalry from Independence to...
There isn't a military installation on the frontier that isn't undermanned. Even if we could get troops, it'd be a bad idea. If the Osages attacked them, the country would be in a full-scale Indian war again. Tom, isn't there something we can do to straighten this out?
Oh, there might be. As far as I know, this is the first time since the Osages granted us right of transit that they've broken the treaty. If we can find out their reason, maybe we can fix it.
Well, it's as simple as all that, huh?
It's not simple at all. Somebody's got to go into their territory and talk to the chief.
Well, who'd be crazy enough to do a thing like that?
Me?
What do you think there's a chance that they'd let you through and listen to you?
Of course there's a chance. Osages are human just like anybody else. I've had a lot of dealings with them, and I think they're honest, good people.
Well, you'd lose your scalp before you got anywhere near them.
I'll take that chance. I'm leaving in the morning. Good night, gentlemen. Night, Ann.
Please be careful.
I'll try.
Tom, I'm afraid.
So am I.
All right, go ahead. Well, you got nothing to worry about now. Everything's taken care of.
What is?
Clay, you'll never get to that Indian village. I can promise you that.
What did you do?
Nothing yet, but tomorrow?
I don't want to hear about it.
That's right. You leave all the rough stuff to me while you sit behind your desk. What's the matter with you anyway? Getting conscience trouble?
I don't know, George, but when we started this business, I didn't think we'd be doing things like this.
Now listen, Pickett. This is too good a thing for us to let Clay wreck our plans. We can't take a chance on him getting through to that Osage chief. You realize that, don't you?
Yes, I suppose so.
I wonder what time it is now.
It's 10 minutes past 2.
That Clay guy must be crawling.
Well, don't forget, we had a 6-hour head start on him. We traveled half the night.
I still don't see why Keene sent 3 of us out to get 1 man. I'm about worn out.
Yeah? That's tough.
Hey. There he is. Looks like he's heading for the water hole like we figured.
All right, now take your spots. But remember, don't fire until I do. We want to wait till he gets right down there where we can't miss. Ow! Keep your rifle out of the sun after this. Get him when he hits the trail.
He started up the trail over an hour ago. You think he took another way to the top?
There isn't any other way. Now shut up and don't miss.
Rollins, I tell you there's something wrong. He should have passed by here a long time ago.
Look, if you don't shut up, I'll... There he is. Come on.
Crazy to follow him into those rocks.
Yeah, I told Keene he should have let us take care of him the other night. Well, we'll still get him. That's if the Indians don't get him first. Come on.
Hacienda.
I come in peace.
There is no peace between your people and mine.
I know this, but I don't understand it.
The tall one lies. He will trick us, as did all others.
I have smoked many pipes in other Osage villages. I've been called brother by your people.
Yaiste, in Gisler, Labut came on Ayeror, in Hadifka, Clay.
You are known as Clay?
Yes.
It is said you speak with a straight tongue. This brave has seen you in other camps. You may talk. Tell us why you have come here.
I've come to learn why the white man's wagon was attacked and burned, and why the white travelers were killed. I wish to learn why the treaty has been broken.
It's the white man who has broken the treaty.
What do you mean? The food and goods were delivered, weren't they?
Come with me. Five of my braves lie buried there, separate from all the others, with the white man's bullets in each of their hearts.
How did this happen?
They went to receive the food and goods granted us by the treaty. They set out for our small village, which is 1 day's ride from your town.
I know the place.
Before my braves reached there, they were attacked and killed.
You never got the supplies?
No.
I am ashamed for the white men that have done this to your people.
You know them?
I think I do. I can promise you that nothing like this will ever happen again. As far as the supplies are concerned, I'll bring them in myself.
When will this be?
Just as fast as I can get to Fort Osage and get the wagons loaded.
We will wait.
Will you let the settlers cross your land as they did before?
We do not want war with the white men. We will keep our half the treaty if he will keep his.
It will be kept. You have my word for that.
I will wait for proof.
You can count on it. I'll be back.
One of George's men. Maybe he has some news about Tom.
Anything wrong, Mr. Keene?
Oh, nothing serious. Just one of my boys got into a little trouble, that's all. Good night, Ann.
Good night. Hello, Dad.
Evening, Mr. Pickett.
Good evening.
Getting a little nippy outside.
Yes, it is. Winter's coming on. Every day we keep these wagons here lessens our chances of getting them through at all.
That's right.
If Clay doesn't come back soon, I'm going to send them out anyway.
But he's not due back till tomorrow. He'll make it all right, I'm sure.
He'll get back.
We all here?
Yeah.
The boys, Clay got away and made it to the main Osage village. He killed Lon doing it. Now, if he comes out of there, that means he's found out about those treaty goods and has promised to deliver them. Well, we're not going to do it. Every dollar we spend on those redskins means that much less for us. We're going to fix those Osages once and for all.
Let's get Clay first and worry about the Indians later.
No. First, we're going to pay a visit to that little Osage camp. We're going to throw a scare into those redskins. They won't bother us again, no matter what Clay's promises have been to them. All right, let's go.
Igiushe, Gachikoge! Hanyo, Igiushe, Gachikoge! Hanyo, Igiushe!
Zagorosh, Lejensa, Leswaga Kutnike, Lewakoye.
Ja, Chigote! Chigote!
Clay's back. Clay, I'm glad to see you.
I'll bet you are.
Tom. Tom, what's the matter?
Where's the money for the treaty supplies?
Tom, what are you doing?
Stay out of this.
Tom, what did he do?
Answer me.
I don't know what you're talking about. The supplies were delivered.
They never were, and you know it. Besides that, you had your men ambush the Braves who came to pick them up.
Is that why the Osages are on the warpath?
Can you think of a better reason?
I don't know anything about it. The ambush, I mean.
No, of course not. You did break the treaty, though, didn't you? You didn't send the Osages a dime's worth of anything, did you?
No. No, he didn't. I didn't think the Osages would retaliate.
So you and Keene kept the money for yourselves, huh?
Yes. Yes, we did. But I had nothing to do with the ambush.
You had nothing to do with the 3 men you sent out to bushwhack me before I got to the Indian camp either, did you?
Yes, I guess I'm responsible. But I didn't order those things done. I agreed to withhold the treaty supplies, and I guess if I hadn't done that, those other things wouldn't have happened. But I'll get the goods. I'll use my own money.
I don't care whose money you use. Just get the goods you're supposed to and have them loaded in some wagons. I'll take them out to the Osages myself.
Tom,
Where's Keene? I'd like to ask him some questions, too.
I haven't seen him all day. None of his men seem to be in town either.
Well, that figures all right. They probably won't be back.
What are you going to do now?
Tell the settlers what happened. Now they can get through to California.
I didn't have those Indians killed. You believe that, don't you, Anne?
Yes, I guess I do. What are we going to do, Dad?
What he told us to do. Here's a list of the treaty goods that should have been delivered. Ask Mr. Glover of the dry goods store to have the order filled in Independence. Tell him I'll have the money for him when the wagons are ready to leave. Ask him to hurry, please. Folks, get over to the saloon right away. Tom Clay's back and called all the settlers together.
Let's go see Pickett. Here, Clay's back in town. Hey, what are you doing with that?
What we should have done weeks ago. Buying supplies and goods for the Osages instead of killing them like you did.
Now, partner, whatever gave you that idea?
It's the truth. Clay thinks I'm responsible for everything. He's telling these people that I...
Dad, Mr. Rover's ready to leave for Independence as soon as he...
Close that door. I suppose this was Clay's idea, too, paying off the Indians so the wagons could get through? I got a little surprise for you, Pickett. We're not paying those Indians a dime.
Well, yes, we are. We've got a treaty with them. And this time I'm going to see that it's kept.
Give me that money.
No.
Now what? We leave. No point in hanging around here anymore. Clay getting those rubes all steamed up. We got the money, we'll spend it in California.
What are you going to do with her?
Tie her up and gag her. Get the rest of the boys, get fresh horses for all of us. We're leaving right away.
And the last thing the Osage chief said to me was, we wait for proof. All right, we're going to give him proof. As soon as the goods and supplies guaranteed to the Osages in the treaty get here, I'm going to want some volunteers to help me deliver this stuff.
I'll volunteer.
So will I.
I'll go.
Oh, thanks. I want you to do everything you can to get your wagons ready to pull out in a day or two. See that your teams are all right and...
Excuse me, Mr. Clay, but there's something I want to ask you. How about the people who haven't got the money to pay the fee? Mr. Winfield here is going to be my father-in-law, I think.
Why, you...
Who's going to be my father-in-law? Definitely. Well, he hasn't got any money. He lost it gambling. As a matter of fact, I lost mine, too.
Well, I think Mr. Winfield, his Kentucky long rifle, might be mighty welcome on a trip like this.
Will you lead the wagons for us, Tom?
Sure, if you still want me.
Well, it looks like you've straightened out everybody's business with your own.
What are you talking about?
You know who I'm talking about.
Mr. Travers, I'm taking you and the wagons to California. That's what you wanted, isn't it? Let's go over to the transit company, make sure Pickett doesn't change his mind.
All right.
Pickett's dead. The money's gone.
Give me some water. Who did it, Am?
George came. Tom, you've got to stop them.
Here, take some of this.
Do you know which way they headed?
They said California.
Take care of her.
Wait a minute, Tom. You're not going after him alone. I'll get some men together. Here.
You be all right now, Am?
Tom, I'm going with you.
Hey, Daniel!
Hey, wait a minute. Take a look at those hills. They're
painted for war.
Looks like they found out about our visit to their little camp. Well, they don't want us. If they did, they'd have been after us by now. I bet they're on their way to Fort Osage.
Fort Osage? Well, there's not enough of them there to get past the saloon.
Yeah, it's probably a suicide raid. They don't care if they get killed or not. Well, it's Clay's problem now, not ours.
Don't do that, Winfield. You all stay here. Don't fire at them, and whatever you do, don't try to run away from them. Hold these.
He hits Clay again, he's a dead chief.
Is this the way the Osage chief keeps his word? Is this the way he waits for proof like he promised?
We've had enough of white man proof. Are we gonna? Iwata. Somebody. Because we can.
No, Nisha.
Chief, the men we're after are the same ones that killed your braves. I'm sure of it. They can't be more than a couple of hours ahead of us. Didn't you see them?
We did see white men on horseback going west.
We've got to catch them. Let me get my guns and we'll go after them together.
Kawa.
I don't shoot very well, Mr. Winfield, but I'll...
Hold your fire. They're not attacking us.
Well, what do they want then? He wants Tom's guns. You better give them to him.
The others will be held. If you have lied, they'll be shot.
All right, let's go.
It'll be dark in a couple of hours. We better travel at night from now on until we cross the plains.
Yeah. Unsaddle your horses, boys. We'll stay here and take it easy till the night.
Indians!
I got him. Huh? I got Clay.
Where are the rest of the boys?
I don't know. And I'm getting out of here.
Kadawa, Hanyo.
This will buy the treaty goods for your people. With you?
Free country.
Yeah, it sure is.